No, I mean, you're welcome to.
No, I don't need to listen to the first hour if,
Okay, yep, no, you can come back anytime on that same link.
Okay, so it won't start before 7:30 now?
Yes,
That's correct.
Okay, good. I'll pop back on in an hour then. Thank you.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Hi, Dave.
Hello. How are you? Hi, Alan.
Hi. We're ready to go, Tim.
Okay, let's call to order. It's 6:33 approximately here on February 3rd, 2021, Parks and Rec meeting. Go ahead with the roll call, Alan.
Okay, Ghost,
Here.
Cooper,
Here.
Martin,
Here.
all three here.
All right.
No guests.
No visitors tonight. Let's look at the minutes.
Are we expecting Dave Parkinson tonight?
No, we're not. He's in services. He sent me an email with an update of the three items that we have on the agenda. I was
Right.
going to summarize that.
Usually, I just wondered because a lot of times he drops in after he's been at services for a while. So that's why I was wondering.
Sure. Okay, minute approval. I think we have two sets of minutes. One from January the 6th and the other from January 15th.
Yeah, the 15th was the special on a Friday at 3:00. Prior to our January 20th council meeting.
I just noticed a few errors, at least I think there were errors in the members who was attending.
Okay.
In the first meeting where I'm a guest and Mr. Holler's a guest, we're also missing the other gentleman who interviewed for the council position.
Okay.
I forget his name off the top of my head, but he was a guest.
Yeah,
And
well,
then-
Justin Wood was there, but he didn't, I thought Paul Holler actually participated and Justin didn't. That's the only reason I didn't, but to
Okay.
the extent that he was there.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll
Yeah.
add him, that's fine. That's good.
And then on the second one, it said that Joe St. John was there, but he wasn't at that special meeting, I don't think. Was the
Okay.
mayor there with us, Mr. Ghost? Do you remember?
I don't think he was there.
Was it just us?
Yeah, pretty
I
sure.
didn't
we were
remember him
talking-
being there, but it was on my sheet that he was, so I put him on, so.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I remember him specifically asking if what we passed was unanimous, because he wasn't there for the meeting.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
noticed, other than those two minor things.
Those are good catches.
Okay,
I will amend those as, if you motion it, I will amend those.
Okay. I'll
okay.
motion to approve the minutes with those changes.
I'll second.
Okay.
Roll call, Alan?
Okay, Cooper,
Yes.
Ghost,
Yes.
and Martin.
Yes.
And that was both sets of minutes, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
With the discussed
With
amendment
Yeah, as amended.
visitors. Okay, I just had three items here for y'all on the agenda, and Dave P. sent an email out summarizing the three items. I think what I'll do there is start with the last one there, the status of the recreation trail grant for the reservoir trail. Dave P. said the application is in process. It's due on March 15th. So we've got some time. He has some time yet. There's nothing further to share about it. He did remind us that he says we'll need an ordinance / resolution from council authorizing the application. I will forward an example to the law director prior to the council meeting on February 17th. So we got a couple weeks yet before we have to go with that. It says the ordinance resolution will need to be approved prior to the submittal of the application on March 15th. So we have some time on that.
Right.
And then we'll have to schedule, I think, an open house before March 15th, before we submit it, right, Alan?
Yeah, what's being contemplated, which Dave Parkinson said was fully appropriate, would be in lieu of a open house, doing some kind of Facebook survey or Facebook event. And so we are working with June on how to do that. There were 5 questions that Dave submitted to us for approval, and Tommy and June had some questions about it. So we're going to try to fine tune those questions, and then we'll get them out to you guys and see if that's going to be an appropriate way to go. But Dave Parkinson said that he's done those in the past, and that Zoom surveys, particularly in a pandemic and in this weather, are good substitutes. You get some really good input. So that's what we're going to probably do, something along those lines, other than a face-to-face. But we could do a Zoom meeting if you felt more comfortable with that.
No, I think what you're proposing sounds good.
I agree. We did the open house for the trails, but it was in the middle of summer and it was easier to attend. But with this, I mean, we're having level 1 and level 2, and it's just too dangerous to have
it's
those.
Still in the midst of a pandemic, so yeah.
Yeah, the both combined, it seems like Facebook would be the better choice.
Okay. Well, I'll keep you posted on that for sure.
Yeah, we'll wait to hear back from you on that. Okay. The middle item I had down was the status of the $50,000 grant for the Fallen Heroes Southern Trail extension. Here is the email from Dave P. And then Alan, you can speak a little bit more about it. But there should be an ordinance on council's agenda for tonight, actually authorizing the mayor to accept the grant. It was $55,000. And I did receive a copy of the offer here from I believe it's the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. So that should be on the agenda tonight. Hopefully council will approve it. And then Tommy will sign the agreement, the grant agreement, and it'll get returned to the commissioners, and the wheel will be in motion.
Right. The ball's in their court. Apparently the clock doesn't start until the commissioners do final approval. We took the agreement that they presented, sent it over to David Bream, and he had no problems with it. And then I believe he and Dave Parkinson compared it to the one we just did 2 years ago. And other than the dollar amounts, I think our last one we got for the first part of the Fallen Heroes Trail was $39,500. So this one's for $55,000. So it's slightly more. The project's probably a little more in scope. But we were pleased with all the terms, and don't see any problem in getting that passed. And then as soon as we get it passed and get that signed and forwarded to the county, then they'll start the clock. And the contract says that the clock starts when the commissioners approve it, and then we have until September 30th of 2022. So we've really got like 19 months to complete the project, which does not seem like that'll be a problem.
So did Mr. Bream prepare legislation for tonight's meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be ready to go.
It's basically authorizing me to sign this agreement is what the legislation.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the best way to handle it, and maybe you have another idea, Alan, but when the park committee report comes up, I can just mention what I just mentioned, and then refer to you to detail the status.
Sure, absolutely, and maybe pass it right down there.
Okay, very good. That's what we'll do. Awesome. Okay, the only other item I had there was status of the northern section of the trail. And I think, as you guys know, Dave P has been working with ODOT on and off on this thing because of the limited access right-of-way issue. ODOT's original position was that that they would not approve the trail within that LARW area. But apparently, you know, Dave P's been going back and forth with them, and the most recent development, he says in the email, as a result of the ODOT's investigation recently, they've concluded that the path forward is with a permit to construct a trail within that limited access right of way. They have not provided any summary of their findings, nor any documentation or justification of their position. More importantly, they have not suggested that a permit would be granted for our project. So in summary, he says, so we are on hold. We're waiting for direction. I am trying to find out if we can get a permit that expires in 12 months or 18 months. So it's still kind of in ODOT's court. Dave Parkinson's trying to determine if ODOT would grant a permit and have a permit extended, a permit for 12 or 18 months instead of a shorter 6-month time frame, because once they grant the permit, as I understand it, they're typically 6 months, and then you have to go ahead and, I think, act on it or start construction within that time frame. Don't you, Alan?
Typically, yeah, and there's usually some kind of time limit on it.
Yeah. So
To both to start and to finish. Yep.
yeah, so we need to find out. Dave P is going to find out the length of the permit that ODOT could presumably grant us, and then that'll determine when we apply for it, because we got to have the money. So
Right, and right now we have no grants or anything lined up for that project, correct?
Yeah.
So,
So this will probably be tabled for maybe 6-8 months, maybe a year until we have the money available and we see the length of the permit time that they would give us.
right. Well, it's kind of a catch-22 though. You'd hate to apply for a grant and get it and then not be able to go forward because you didn't get the permit. But by the same token, they may not be inclined to, but on the other hand, if you go ahead and apply for the permit and get it, but you don't have the funds that can't start in a timely fashion, that's not good either. So it sounds like it's going to be kind of tricky.
Exactly. But this is still good.
Well, we could always just ask ODOT to pay for it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all.
Yeah, see if they have a grant.
But, you know, it's not a big deal really in my mind, because with this grant we're talking about, we just talked about for the southern end, we got to get that paid for and built by the end of next year. And then we got the reservoir to do. So, you know.
Right. Oh yeah, no, we got plenty of projects piled up, that's for sure.
Yeah, so tabling this for another year or so, I think, is probably what we're doing.
Right. And as long as Dave Parkinson's persistent with ODOT, and I know he will be, I think we'll be in good shape there too.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could nail them down in writing to a certain, a longer 12 or 18 month permit, and then we have it in writing. So then when we are ready to go forward, we can say, hey, look, here's what you agreed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I think really that's all I had, guys. Anything else?
I don't have anything.
I just wanted to let you all know, I sent Dave Parkinson an email earlier this week because of some of the discussion about the right-of-way things over there. When Kroger's was built, we had, there was some discussion about why there was a crosswalk at Route 3 recently. And
Okay.
the reason they gave in to us on a crosswalk at Route 3, we had asked them for a curb cut on Route 3 into the Kroger parking lot. And then in exchange, they let us put the crosswalks in exchange for not getting that curb cut, and also in making the entrance and exit from Kroger right in, right out there on Cherry Street. So that was part of the agreement with ODOT that allowed them to say then, yeah, you can have a crosswalk across Route 3 under those circumstances. It was a give and take kind of thing.
Interesting. I think I remember that vaguely.
But the person that was running ODOT at the time isn't there any longer. So maybe that's why they were so surprised there was a crosswalk down there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that person probably didn't document their file very well either, so.
That might be.
Yeah, that's good, good history there, Dave. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got that over to Dave P as well, so he can have that in his back pocket. Okay, thanks, Dave. If nobody has anything else, we can do a motion for adjournment if you like.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Martin, Cindy, okay. Martin,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Cooper, sorry. Ghost,
Yes.
3 unanimous. We're adjourned.
Okay, we'll see you a little bit later.
46,
But
See you
we're
guys at
staying right on
7:30.
this Zoom hookup, right?
correct.
Yes.
Right.